How you doing, man? I'm very good. Cousins, man. Cousins. Cousins, man.
Here we go. My name's please. 1, 2, 3. One more just in case you blinked. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Look at that smile, brother.
Okay.
Sponge shot. Sponge shot.
Sorry. Okay, concentrate on my lens, please. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Next, please. I'm keeping the door shut. Okay, here we go. I'm checking 2. Here we go. The first one. That's the second one. Thank you. A big hug. Hold on.
I was told that I was missing the match like twice a year. I was missing because only have an hour.
Let's move over that way a little bit so we got the grenade in. Go back.
Yeah, give him a good hug.
Okay, there we go. Go for it. One more. Got it. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Right.
Pick yourself at
So where's Debbie gone?
I know that we're not reaching everything. So we're
Stand back, please. Here we go. Sir, stand back, please. Thank you very much.
A Prime Minister who can take the time off to visit the elderly is a Prime Minister who cares about the young and the old. So I'm really delighted to be here. Extremely delighted indeed. And we are going to be working very closely with your High Commissioner. And we ask you to cooperate and also share with the workings of the High Commission here in London. There's a new vision for the diaspora. Prime Minister and his cabinet are very, very keen on embracing and developing that contact and love and togetherness with the Grenadian folks all over the world. London is no exception. We also do have a new diaspora. These are individuals whom have seen it fit to be part of the economic life of Grenada. They are citizens by investment. They are also citizens of Grenada. We also too want to embrace them and to be part of the Grenadian family. I have had also the privilege to be chatting on the way down with Roy, someone who has been 40 years president of the United Anglo-Caribbean Society, John Swan. It is really, really an honor to have had the opportunity to chat with him. And John Swan.
Yes.
It's really a pleasure to meet you at the United Anglo-Caribbean Society.
Yes.
You have been, I understand, president of this organization for the past 40 years. Or you had served for 40 years.
Yes.
It's really a pleasure for Prime Minister and his delegation to be here to meet with the elderly folks and to participate in this wonderful event. Tell me something about your leadership, the time which you served as president of this organization.
Well, the time that I served as president, normally we say it's chair, but president means basically covers the same thing. We had a number of projects going in the past as well. We haven't got as many projects as we had before because we used to cater for both the young and the older people. But all of that was a voluntary work, and it was funded by grants and local authorities.
Mhm.
A lot of these things has changed, especially when it comes to funding, because people, over the years, government has changed attitudes towards certain charities and so forth. So you find that because of our persistence, we try to ensure that we keep this organization going because we know the benefit
Right.
it brings to the people that we provide the service for.
All right, well, tell me a little bit about the history behind the United Anglo-Caribbean Society and what brought it about.
Right. Well, the Anglo-Caribbean Society, United Anglo-Caribbean Society, wasn't Anglo-Caribbean Society until it was actually formed.
Uh-huh.
Right? We, as a group of Caribbean people,
Mhm.
when we left our home, we saw and got to England. We saw different things differently.
Well, in those days we called England the motherland.
Yes, as you know, the motherland supposed to be a caring person or a caring country or whatever.
Yeah.
But you find that when you actually got here,
Mhm.
the mother wasn't so caring.
Wow.
Right?
Interesting. So this is what inspired the group of Caribbean people to come together?
Yes.
To look after each other? kind of
Yes, it inspired them not only to come together, but we had to create and build on our own ability and our own effort so that the indigenous population as well understand where we are coming from. When I said where we are coming from, I'm talking in terms of the things that we do, the way we do things, or our culture and all those other things. So we had an education to perform as well with the indigenous people, because a lot of the thing that was happening comes sometimes from not being educated towards the process that you are trying to achieve.
Right. Well, the thing about it now is a number of Caribbean people who would have arrived in England during the period of what is well known now, the Windrush. That would have been in what, 1948, 1950, thereabout?
Yeah, well, from 1948, all of the, I think it started, I think between 1948 and 1975, I think.
Uh-huh.
I think that was a period.
So that was the
that
rush of Caribbean people
Yes.
coming to the
to
motherland,
the motherland.
UK.
Yes, so all of those areas, but any people that come after wasn't seen as part of the Windrush.
Right. And of course now there is a serious challenge in the United Kingdom with those individuals who were known as the Windrush citizens, who are now without citizenship. But that's another matter which we are going to talk about
Right.
maybe later on or some other time.
Right.
Now, the purpose of your group coming together was what? To look after Grenadians and other West Indians who had challenges in settling down in the UK around this time, or what is the real purpose of the organization?
Right. Well, the fact that I might be a Grenadian, but my purpose was just to serve Grenadian.
Mhm.
It was a bigger picture than just serving one country.
Right.
Yes, it is nice sometimes to work for a particular country because you have different restrictions in regards to what you can do in terms of the charity that you run.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we needed support from different part of the Caribbean, and
Right.
we need to strengthen our people as a group of people that can, because most times we have the same common needs.
Right. Mhm. Well, it's interesting that Caribbean people in the UK had come together. Your organization is what, over 50 years in existence?
As a matter of fact, October is 52 years.
52 years.
October.
So it means therefore that since then, Caribbean people were coming together, uniting in order to look after the interests of other West Indians who were not so fortunate in looking after themselves.
Yes, that is so. We had in the past during some of the period which we haven't got at the moment, we used to have staff helping to run project, paid staff to help to run project, but mainly the organization is based on voluntary
Yeah.
work.
So you all provided voluntary services to the organization in looking after Grenadians and other West
Other West
Indians
Indians.
who were not able to look after themselves.
Mhm.
What about the younger Grenadians during that time? How did they fare in England 52 years ago?
Right. Well, the point is, we mentioned something earlier in terms of not able to look after themselves. But sometimes it's not just this. I mean, there is a range of things because we wasn't. Some people might think because we say not able to look after themselves, they might think, well, not being able to feed themselves, clothe themselves, or what. But it's much more deeply involved than
Much more than that.
Yes.
Mm.
Because you see, what happened is the things that you don't see, that people don't understand, that they can't see, and especially those who are less educated may not have the opportunity to actually access certain things.
Mhm.
We are there to ensure that we help them to achieve the things that they think they can't achieve. Because,
Right.
for instance, when it comes to dealing with authorities,
Mhm.
and so on. We had that sort of knowledge, understanding on how to help others to achieve those things, because you find that people who knows always come out best.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't know, you're always left behind.
Yes, unfortunately so indeed.
Yes.
Wow. So the assistance to young Grenadians during that period was to help them get empowered so that they can maybe empower others and look after themselves essentially.
Well, yeah, I think that will come under, particularly under the hostel that we were actually operating as well.
Oh,
There was a period in time where we used to have a lot of young men, especially, sleeping on the street
Wow.
through mental problems.
mental issues.
Mental issues.
So you put them in a hostel and you looked after them.
We put them in a hostel,
Yeah.
and we not just look after the mental problems, but we look at much more than that. We actually try to help them to be independent, so that they themselves can actually help others to develop and for them to maintain their own business, their own culture, their own anything that they want, like anybody else, they should be able to achieve because they have the right, they've been directed, they've been pointed in the right direction on how to achieve those things and also to sustain them.
Fantastic. Well, you've been doing a great job. I want to thank you so very much for being part of the Heartbeat today, and thank you for inviting me to this setting. And more so, Prime Minister, who is still downstairs greeting and meeting with all the elderly folks. It's really been a pleasure being with you. And of course, being of service to Grenada and other Caribbean people for the past 40 years. Thank you very much for your service.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you indeed. Thank you. I was just chatting with John Swan, a Grenadian who is from St. Patrick. He has been a former chairman of the United Caribbean Anglo Society and providing services to the elderly and also those not so old way back since between the 1948, 1950s, and the organization is still alive today. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell has been a guest of honor at this particular event, and he's downstairs meeting and greeting the elderly, just embracing them and of course chatting and taking pics. They're all excited to have in their presence Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell and his delegation. He's also joined by the Foreign Minister, the Honourable Joseph Andel. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you.
And your name, sir?
Thank you.
My name is Terry Forrester. I am the ambassador responsible for diaspora affairs. And of course, we have joining us is the High Commissioner, Mrs. Raisha Croney. she's also this present. And we've had our trade ambassador, Andreas and Bernard, and the entire team visiting this wonderful institution today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
What does she want
Now the new chairperson for the United Caribbean Anglo Society. What a pleasure indeed. She has taken over from John Swan. And it's really a pleasure indeed to be invited along with Prime Minister Mitchell to be part of this, afternoon's, proceedings. What a wonderful job that you all are doing.
Oh, thank you.
I understand you've been around, well, not you, but the organization for the past 52 years,
Yes,
providing
that's right.
service to the elderly.
That's
Wonderful.
right. Yes.
Tell us, how do you do it?
How do we do it? Well, I started off as a volunteer. I was actually bringing my dad, who had dementia at the time, along as, for somewhere that he could talk and see. And he actually met people that he'd actually grew up with in Grenada, in the charity. And I stayed. I liked it. After my father passed away, I liked it. Stayed along. I was secretary to Mr. Swan. And then when Mr. Swan sat down, we had Harriet King, thank you. And she took over. And then when she stepped down, I took over as chair. And yeah, for me, it's all about what we can do for the elderly. As much as we can do. We do flower arranging, we do crafts, we put on events. There's lots of exercise classes that they do. They really do enjoy what we provide for them. And the volunteers actually love coming and helping out. They do it with such passion.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so very much for being part of our program today.
Thank you.
And
very much.
continue doing what you're doing. And we are indeed all thrilled to see how embracing and how the love is being shared between Prime Minister and the elderly. It's just a wonderful feeling indeed.
Lovely.
And thank you all for inviting us.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. It's been
Pleasure
a great
indeed.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you indeed. This was Kathy Simon.
Thank you.
Simeon, Kathy Simeon. Grenadian, right?
Yes, Grenadian.
Great. Well, Grenadians all over the world are starring.
My father was from Guave and my mother was from St. Patrick's.
Oh, wonderful indeed. Well, thank you for providing services to the elderly, not just Grenadian elderly, but other Caribbean elderly in England.
Lovely.
Wonderful job. Good luck and God bless.
Yes, another 52 years.
For another 52 years. Matter of fact, you're older than Grenada's independence. Thank you very much indeed. Great. Have a good one.
You get the sentences.
Roy, I'm not sure if I should thank you for putting me on this spot. But as you say, it's impromptu. And like Prime Minister, I wish to congratulate the organizers of this very important program. Everything we do, we should have people at the heart of it. The fact that those who came up with this idea were able to conceptualize it and bring it into life is an indication that we do care about people, about keeping people together, giving people a purpose for wanting to stay alive, and that is to be commended. I wish you continued success in that. As Minister of Foreign Affairs, it is my responsibility, or part of my responsibility, is to ensure that we maintain a healthy contact with our citizens and their descendants who live outside of Grenada. And to that end, we have beefed up our High Commission. We have appointed a diaspora ambassador to ensure that there is always a link between what is happening home and in the diaspora. We want you to take advantage of the presence of our High Commission. We want you to get your children and your grandchildren to stay connected to Grenada. I met a gentleman here just a few moments ago, and he spoke about being a member of the board of directors of one of our statutory bodies. And that too is an indication of the seriousness that this new government places on our diaspora, because we have taken steps to give you the opportunity to participate in the governance process back home. With the ease of communication in this modern day, you do not have to be physically present to be able to make a difference or a contribution. So it's not about me, so I will stop now. And if you have anything that the Prime Minister would, after you address to the Prime Minister, if you have anything to me, I am free and available. So thank you for the invitation, and let's enjoy the rest of it.
I'd like you to hear a few words now from Her Excellency.
Good afternoon, everyone. I walked in here and the welcome, the reception was so warm. Let me just say, I just felt at home with you guys just walking through the doors. It is truly, truly a pleasure to be here. I had the opportunity to speak with some of you earlier, and it was truly an honor. The High Commission here is here for you, right? We're here for you. We know that there are challenges, we know that there's a lot to be done, but I'm here to work with you, and I welcome your thoughts, your ideas, your ingenuity, your innovation, your passion. Please feel free to reach out to us. I know that there are ways that we can work better together. I know that there are ways to improve the communication between the High Commission itself and you guys, and to improve the link with back home. So I am hoping that we can do that. I'm hoping that we can communicate better together. Like I said, the mission is here. It represents you here. We're also the link to back home. So we want to bridge that gap and work together. So please feel free, if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, to reach out to us. One of the things that I am going to encourage is please share your information with us as well, because we want to make sure that whatever information we put out there, that it gets into the hands of all of you, and that you are aware of what we are doing. So again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the warm welcome, and we do look forward to working with you over the next 4 years. Thank you.
This is turning out to be
the work you've been doing here, what are the challenges, what are the things you perhaps want to recommend to us back home. I'm happy that the new High Commissioner is here. We spent quite a bit of time yesterday evening chatting about how we ensure that the High Commission can better serve the diaspora community in London. So I know for sure that's one of the things the High Commissioner will definitely work on, to make sure that there's closer connectivity between the diaspora, High Commission, and Grenada. And you have very important people like our diaspora ambassador who's tasked with making sure that happens, and our foreign minister of making sure that we can communicate better with you in terms of what's happening at home, or you can help, or we can help to make sure that the everlasting bond between the diaspora community in the UK and Grenada remains strong. I was making the point that you are the oldest diaspora community, long before Toronto and New York and all of that. London always was it. So we certainly are grateful for that. I'm just happy to be here. So if you have any questions, any comments, providing time permits, I'd be happy to answer them either publicly or privately, as the case might be. So Roy, thank you again.
Thank you
For organizing.
Just wanted to get your thoughts on this afternoon session. I mean, this is a true working session, meeting with the elderly in the United Kingdom, the United Anglo-Caribbean Society. It's just been in existence for 52 years, and it's a little bit mind-boggling that you have found the time from your busy schedule to be with the elderly today, to find out how they're doing, to embrace them. Of course, most of them wanted to have photos with you. What are your thoughts?
Well, first I want to congratulate the founding members and continuing members of this organization. You know, the fact that they take their time to care for elderly, to bring them together in community, to feed them, to socialize with them, is a very noble cause, and it's something that I think we really can certainly learn from. So I think for me the starting point is to say congratulations to them on their 52-year anniversary, and to give them and wish them 52 more years of success. It's wonderful to be here. The warmth and wonderful greeting and friendship that I experience when I enter the room makes you feel like you're in Grenada. And you know, many of the folks who are here are Grenadians, but we also have other Caribbean nationalities here. And I think it's testament to the strength of the West Indian diaspora in the United Kingdom. We have a long bond with the United Kingdom. As I said, the UK diaspora is the oldest diaspora for West Indians anywhere in the world, and that includes Grenadians. And it's important that for many of them, it's been 40, 50 years plus, that they have a community that they can continue to share experiences with, continue to look after and care for them. So I'm very happy to see that such a
So this administration has created a new ministry, actually, a Ministry of Creative Affairs, really to focus on the creative power and prowess of Grenadians, recognizing that we've got so many talented artists and creative spirit in Grenada. About maybe a month or two ago, we actually hosted the first ever very successful conference. It was called Unleash. The theme being unleashing the creative powers of the Grenadian people. And through the Ministry of Creative Affairs, we have launched several initiatives to support and help the creatives within Grenada to grow their area of interest into means of gaining income, grow it into an actual profession. We recognize that the types of talent that we have, we really should be able to help support persons to turn that into income. So, for example, the government took the bold and courageous step of implementing a plan of concessions for all creatives, such that persons who are involved in creative industry, film, artists of all sorts, all of the items that they are importing in order to do their business are now concession free. So we've got that program, whether it's cameras, whether it's art supplies, whatever it is that the creatives need to contribute to their business and to contribute to their process, we're now offering that concession free. So again, there's definitely a specific focus on unleashing the creative powers of Grenadians, and we had a wonderful event. Several Grenadian artists and all from within the diaspora and at home attended, and I think that there's a lot of energy, excitement about what's still to come. So stay tuned.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And now we will have Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, the Honorable Joseph Handel. Minister, what are your thoughts about this event today, which Prime Minister and his delegation has attended?
Afternoon, Terry, and afternoon to your listening and viewing audience. I think it's a wonderful event, and the people who have organized this center here, they must be commended for this initiative. It's always good for us to think about others, and in particular people who are no longer as youthful as they used to be. It's good to have this center where they can come, socialize with each other, meet other people. And so for us, it's been a really wonderful experience touching base with these Grenadians who have spent quite a number of years here. And not only Grenadians, but I've met a couple of people who are originally from Trinidad and Tobago. So it is helping to further cement the fraternal bonds that exist between the different people of the different Caribbean countries.
Yes, indeed. The United Anglo-Caribbean Society, in existence for the last 52 years. This has been quite an amazing accomplishment by West Indians. And one Grenadian in particular, Mr. John Swan, he has led the organization for 40 years. it's really heartening that Prime Minister and his delegation can find the time to partake and to visit and to embrace these elderly Grenadians. And of course, you must be feeling elated that you have already met a few of them from St. Patrick.
Yeah, very, very much so. You know, it's been a really touching experience interacting with those people, hearing their stories about the struggles they went through when they first came here decades ago and how much they have been able to accomplish with their families and so on. And the good thing is that they all stay in touch with Grenada. They visit from time to time, and we just more than happy to have been able to make this connection with them and to let them know that even if they are out of Grenada physically, Grenada is still very much a part of them, and that we value them as much as we value those of us who are still living here.
Thank you very much indeed, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, the Honourable Joseph Andrews. Thank you very much. Pleasure indeed.
Thank you. Just your name, just how you felt the event went today. How did you feel?
Okay, my name is Irma. I'm one of the members of United Anglo-Caribbean Society, an ex-staff member. I believe in what the organisation does, so I volunteered after I lost my job as the project manager. And today was absolutely wonderful. It was a better turnout than we'd expected, and everyone was happy. And yeah, I was so pleased to meet everyone.
Very proactive meeting, like you seem like. Seem like we can do some work with them.
I hope so.
I've got the contact, so I'll make sure I follow them up for you. Yeah, definitely. And
that's fantastic. We've been around for 52 years, and sometimes people say we're the best kept secret in Ealing because not everybody still knows about us. But the organisation has been serving the borough of Ealing for over 52 years. So
it's the bigger and better things, definitely.
Upwards and upwards and onwards. Or
yes,
onwards and
yes.
upwards. Okay,
I'm nice to catch you, and I know you're part one more. I just have to rush because my car's on parking.
Yeah.
Just your name and how you felt the event went.
I'm Manly. Wonderful event today with the Prime Minister Grenada visiting. It's always a welcome when people in power take the time out to visit organisations like ours who work with the community, and it also gives them an insight into what they can achieve for their community. So all went well, lovely occasion, hope to do some more of it.
Just brilliant.
Big up to everybody at UACS.
I will cut this, and I'm supporting you. I'm going to help you lot with some support and funding, because I realise the black organisations, they don't want to fund us anymore, so we're going to change that. We definitely will. Thank you. I'm glad I come. It means I'm going to make sure I help with the fundraising. You know,
excellent.
We need to do this.
We need to do this. We need to bring the young people.
Oh my gosh.
And Resha Throny. Your Excellency, it's a real great pleasure indeed, and thank you for organising with other organisers, for Prime Minister and his delegation to be part of this wonderful occasion today, meeting with the elderly at the United Caribbean Anglo Society. What are your thoughts?
It is a pleasure, first of all, to have you here in London visiting, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. I mean, this is an amazing opportunity to bring together Grenadians within the diaspora, specifically the United Kingdom, young and old, under the same roof. It's also an opportunity for us to see, just how much wealth of knowledge, of talents, of enthusiasm, of passion, of everything that still remains here, despite the fact that several of these persons have been living in the UK for several years. I mean, it's just amazing. And just their love for Grenada, it's just awesome. I mean, I walked through the doors and it was palpable. And I think it's a great opportunity and a great time for us to take advantage of that and to engage more with our Grenadians here and to see how best we can get them involved with the things that are happening back home. So it's been awesome. I feel inspired from just being here. Already I have several thoughts. Okay, what can we do next and how can we...
And I see the smiles on your faces. It's been worth it. So that's my Christmas done. Okay, so guys, thank you very much. Kathy, I don't know if you have any last words, but it'll be over to you. Some more conversations, some more photographs, and then we start. All right, so thank you again.
Yeah.